Why do I have to continuously tell people that my son is a human being?
Jacob Blake's father was on Democracy Now! To discuss how his son is doing. Of course, Jacob Blake, he was the man who was shot in the back by a cop as he was getting into a car, and he's now paralyzed from the waist down. He was on to talk about his son and also his reaction to the lack of charges in the Breonna Taylor case. And he gave a real emotional plea, and that I want to play it for you because this, hopefully, look, if you're watching these videos, you likely already understand the importance of of standing up for Black lives. But if you don't, maybe this will help you understand what the Black community is going through.
In regards to the emotional way that some things get me, you guys got me with when I was listening to Breonna's boyfriend. And that 911 call, he was scared to death. Why are our children scared to death of people that are supposed to protect and serve them? In 2020, why do I have to continuously tell people that my son is a human being? Why are we looked at like we're animals? It's not a good place to be in. My father got beat for marching for civil rights 50 years ago, and we're still trying to get equal rights. At some point in time, you get tired. There's no avenue that's given you directly to do what you need to do. No one can explain to you what to do. They tell you it takes time. Well, how much time? They tell you to vote, and we vote, and we're going to keep voting. We have to change these laws, and we have to do something, because we've come up to this point to where the whole world is seeing the two systems of justice, and we're not in the mood nor in the mindset of taking it anymore.
Okay. It's hard to know what to say. When you see a case like Breonna Taylor, where they charge, the only charges laid are for the bullets that hit into her neighbor's apartment, for wanton endangerment, for potentially endangering other people, but no charges laid for the bullets that killed her after they broke their door down, shot 20 times into the apartment. It doesn't even occur to me how you can frame this in any other way than just looking at the facts. Look at what happened. And that's just the Breonna Taylor case. I mean, we can go through everything else, but this happens all the time in various ways. But imagine you're home and you hear banging at your door at 12:30 in the morning. Isn't that going to freak you out? If you're in a place where you can carry a gun to protect yourself in your home, you're likely going to grab that gun. And then when whoever it is breaks through your door, you're probably going to shoot because you're scared. And that's what happened. Her boyfriend shot once, didn't know who was breaking in. They broke in. It was plainclothes police officers. He shot once, then they shot 20 times back, killing her. And the only justice served is for drywall. Drywall that was hit. And then Jacob Blake getting shot in the back. Paralyzed for life. It's amazing he's alive, but paralyzed for life. And all this stuff, like, that was caught on camera. So many of these are caught on camera, and so many more are not. The majority of these cases are not caught on camera and never get a public hearing. We don't hear about them. This kind of shit happens all the time, and it is completely insane. The bare minimum is to cut these police budgets. That's the bare minimum, is to cut the budgets. You've seen increase in police budgets year after year after year in these major cities. Meanwhile, cuts to healthcare, cuts to education, cuts to public transportation, cuts to public services, cuts to everything else that actually helps people on a daily basis, except for cuts to police. It's insane. At the very least, you have to move many of these responsibilities to other areas. Mental health calls, public health calls in general need to be moved into public health and not given to police officers. There needs to be a narrow focus of what the police actually do. And by the way, look, I'm the moderate on this. There are a lot of people who say abolish the police, and again, even abolish the police doesn't mean, crime runs free. It just means a different way of imagining how to enforce laws. But I'm someone who still thinks, look, there's still a place, I think, for the police to react to violent crime, but they don't need to be occupying streets. They don't need to be wearing riot gear. I have another. You know what? I'll show you something else right now. This right here. Memphis. Police in Memphis now have taser shields. Taser shields. Tase people with a shield. Why is there money being poured into this? While there's cuts to education, cuts to healthcare. What kind of society do you think this creates? When all your money is put into policing, put into riot gear, put into armored trucks, put into guns, put into weapons. What kind of society do you think that creates? It creates the chaos you're seeing now. There has to be a complete reimagining of the police force. Call it defund, call it abolish, call it whatever you want. But clearly something substantial has to be done.